Breaking news. Big breaking transfer news right now.
Chelsea have agreed a deal worth £85 million with Shakhtar Donetsk for 22-year-old winner
Mykhaylo Mudryk.
We're told the contract offer is thought to be 7.5 years.
As the part of the latest transfer window circus, Chelsea hijacked Arsenal's top winter transfer target, Mykhaylo Mudryk, for £88 million. Which made me wonder, what are the other transfer hijacks we have witnessed in the sport of football? 1. Cristiano Ronaldo, Juventus to Manchester City, hijacked by Manchester United 2021. Ronaldo wishes he would have never transferred back to Manchester United. But back in 2021, Ronaldo had been expected to leave Juventus virtually all summer long, having failed to help Juventus lift the Champions League. Late on in the summer, it emerged that Manchester City were in talks to sign Ronaldo, with a player keen on the move. But the moment Manchester United caught the wind, they swooped in. Rio Ferdinand was on the phone with Alex Ferguson, and Ronaldo was convinced to head back to Old Trafford instead. Alfredo di Stefano, millonarios to Barcelona, hijacked by Real Madrid 1953. Hijacking a transfer is not something new. It even took place in the 50s, as Real Madrid hijacking Di Stefano in 1953 proved to be one of the greatest ever piece of business. Di Stefano, the 27-year-old Argentine at the time, was playing in Colombia when Barcelona came, whom he was adjudged to have signed with by FIFA, but not with Spanish Football Federation, who would not recognize the move after being consulted by FIFA. An agreement was found to let Di Stefano play in Spain for 4 years, spending 2 years with each club. But that didn't happen, as Stefano became one of the greatest ever Real Madrid player. Jorginho, Napoli to Manchester City, hijacked by Chelsea, 2018. In 2018, after winning Pep Guardiola's first Premier League title, Manchester City thought that they had a deal in place to bring Jorginho to Etihad Stadium in the summer of 2018, with the transfer fee and the personal term both agreed. However, with Mauricio Sarri's arrival as a Chelsea manager that summer, the Italian head was turned and he opted to head to London instead, reuniting with his former boss at Stamford Bridge. He since won the Champions League, Europa League, Super Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, and placed third in the Ballon d'Or ranking. Fred, shakhtar to Manchester City, hijacked by Manchester United 2018. Another hijacking against Manchester City. Early on in the same transfer window where they were pursuing Jorginho, it was reported that City were closing in on a deal to sign Fred. However, United had another idea and paid $50 million for the Brazilian midfielder, who instead headed to the Theatre of Dreams. Ronaldinho, PSG to Manchester United, hijacked by Barcelona 2003. In this case, it was Manchester United who were on the victim end of the hijack, as 23-year-old Ronaldinho was whiskers away from signing for United in 2003. But they essentially shot themselves in the foot, losing out on the majestic Brazilian legend. United pursued Ronaldinho in an attempt to replace David Beckham, who had signed for Real Madrid for $30 million deal that summer. Had they sold David Beckham to Barcelona and nudged him to agreeing a personal term with them, they would have snapped up Ronaldinho. But they didn't though. And Real stole Barcelona's top target in the form of David Beckham, which consequently saw United missed out on Ronaldinho at the 11th hour. Paul Gascoigne, Newcastle to Manchester United, hijacked by Tottenham Hotspur, 1988. Ferguson did not hide his interest in Gascoigne, nor did he need to. Of course, United were interested. And when the signing became a real possibility in 1988, they were about to make it happen before Tottenham swooped in the death. Gascoigne had a doubt over his playing time in Theatre of Dream, with Brian Robson and Neil Webb ahead of him in the pecking order. But he was still headed to sign for Manchester United. That was until Tottenham turned his head by offering to buy his family a house which sealed the deal. When Ferguson came back from holiday, he came to know that Gaza had gone back on his word and joined Tottenham. Luis Diaz, Porto to Tottenham, hijacked by Liverpool 2022. Perhaps the move that reignited the transfer hijacking madness. Liverpool had eyes on Luis Diaz with a view to completing the deal in the summer of 2022. But when Tottenham approached Porto over the deal in January of 2022 and came close to closing a move, the Reds had to swoop in. Believing in Diaz's ability, they deemed him important enough for the future of the club and signed him in the January for a more premium fee, and jumped in late to hijack the deal that Spurs had came close to sealing. He has been electric for Liverpool ever since signing and became a fan favourite. Alexis Sanchez, Arsenal to Manchester City, hijacked by Manchester United 2018. If jumping the queue for Fed by doffing Manchester City financial offering wasn't the proof enough for the gap between the two Manchester clubs these days, that Sanchez transfer certainly is. City had been in pursuit of Arsenal main man for a number of months and were poised to sign him halfway through the 2018 and the 19 season. But they were pipped at the very death by Manchester United again, whose financial offering paying the Chilean around 500k a week and offering Arsenal Henrik Mkhitaryan in exchange. Well, his time at United was unfruitful, and United fans will despise the piano for the rest of their life because of it. Willian, Mykhaylo to Tottenham, hijacked by Chelsea 2013. Willian was one of the prize assets in the strange Anzi fire sale in the early 2010s, which Tottenham almost benefited from. Spurs looked set to sign the Brazilian for 32 million before Roman Abramovich stepped in and turned the deal on its head after Willian had already completed a medical for Tottenham. Abramovich had connection with Anzi owner and fellow Russian oligarch Suleiman Kerimov, and when Willian had caught wind of Jose Mourinho's desire to sign him, his mind changed. He reportedly spent hours locked up at Tottenham's training ground before Daniel Levy conceded defeat, believing that Chelsea signed him merely to get one over on their London rivals. A truly wild saga. Obi Mikel, linked to Manchester United, hijacked by Chelsea 2006. Another hijack by Chelsea, as this one went on for over a year, as Mikel's eventual move to Chelsea is still wild as it was till then. Upon turning 18, Manchester United announced that they had agreed to sign the midfielder in April of 2005 for a January 2006 arrival, with Mikel signing a deal without the representation of any agent. Chelsea then pipped up, stating that they had found an agreement with Mikel and his agent, which current employer Lynn denied, having agreed a fee with United. United then organized a strange press conference where Mikel held up their shirt and kept in a hotel with security for safety reasons. Mikel then went missing in May of 2005, skipping a Norwegian Cup game, and later United assistant manager Carlos Queiroz accused Chelsea of kidnapping the Nigerian teenager. The matter was finally resolved in summer of 2006, with Chelsea paying United 12 million and Lynn 4 million, and United agreeing with Lynn to transfer his registration to Blue. It was and still is insane to think Chelsea pulled off such an heist.